You've made it into gold, a respectable rank, but not nearly good enough for someone as amazing and talented as you. Being hard stuck here just isn't gonna cut it. Maybe it's your teammates holding you back, maybe it's your mechanics, your game sense, or the universe is just out to get you. Whatever it is, this video will give you all the tips that you need to break free from elo hell and finally climb to the rank that you so rightfully deserve. It's gonna give you tips on how to improve your positioning, movement, game sense, and deal with your terrible teammates. So I would suggest that you stick around for the whole thing, because if you do, any and every problem you have will be fixed, allowing you to finally break free from this godforsaken rank and start playing like an absolute demon. With that being said, let's get right into it. When it comes to positioning in Valorant, a lot of you may be very confused on what you should actually be doing. The first thing you need to keep in mind is how close you are to an angle. Now this is pretty straightforward, but a lot of you mess this up. You should always be farther away from the angle than your enemy. This is going to allow you to see them before they see you, making it an easy kill. However, it's deeper than this. Not only should you be farther away from the angle, you should be in a position that is unpredictable. And there are two ways for you to do this. Number one, you hold a common angle, but you don't just stand there like a deer in headlights. Instead, you move left and right, peeking it, waiting to spot an enemy, or you hold far away from it, keeping your agent moving in case an enemy peeks into you. Number two, you hold an off angle. This way you can't get Ferrari peek and one tap. In order to do this, you need to be holding a spot you think the enemy would not expect you to be in. That does not mean you sit in a corner like a little rat, hoping for the best. Let's never do that. Instead, think about spots you've seen people positioned in normally and move to a slightly different area. This can be done for any angle on any map. There's a time and a place to be holding common angles or off angles, and when you decide to do each one will be completely up to you, depending on how the enemy team has been playing. But to make this easier on you, all you need to keep in mind is do not hold or swing the same angle twice. Always be switching up the angles you're holding and the ways you are peeking. This way the enemy cannot pre-aim you and have you questioning your existence.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
While you're playing, you need to actively be thinking, man, did I just stand here last round? Or am I actually moving my agent around instead of playing Camping Simulator 2024? If the answer is yes, you were just there, then move your ass and find a different angle or position to be holding. Also, if you've been spotted or you get a kill, for the love of God, do not stay where you were or swing back out. Move somewhere else or you're going to get absolutely obliterated. As soon as you've been spotted or you get a kill, the enemy team is going to be screaming through their mics exactly where you are, and they're going to come hunting for you. So you need to move somewhere else so you can catch them off guard. This is the number one problem that people have in terms of their positioning. And now that you know how to hold an angle properly, instead of just standing there like David Goggins when he finds out there's no boats around, you need to learn how to fix your movement so you're not just good at moving your positions, but you're also good at moving during gunfights as well. And there are a few things that you need to know: how to dead zone, how to swing with maximum momentum, and how to peek properly. When it comes to dead zoning, this is easy. All you need to do is make sure you're timing the click of your mouse when you go to stop and shoot, or when you switch directions with your movement keys. To practice this, go into the range and stare at the middle pillar. From here, you just move left to right and shoot in between switching directions. To do this, you need to click as soon as you tap the opposite movement key. In order to master this, you should be doing this for 2 to 5 minutes every single day before you play to develop the muscle memory needed. After this, you can learn how to reach maximum momentum when you swing. All you need to do to master this is make sure that you're taking 2 steps out when you go to swing an angle. To practice this, go into the range, start moving 2 steps to the left, tap the D key and then shoot, then move 2 steps to the right, tap the A key and shoot again. Now, if you want to take this to the next level and truly become a movement god, you should go into a custom game and load up into any map. From here, you want to go up to a normal angle you would swing and start practicing swinging out of it with 2 steps for maximum momentum. However, if you truly want to peak properly, you need to be following the T protocol. The protocol is as follows. You want to make sure when you go to swing an angle, you're at least 2 steps away from the wall. Like we talked about before, you want to be as far away from the angle as possible. Then you need to make sure you're at least 2 steps away from the wall when you go to swing it. After that, all you need to do is swing out of the angle at full speed, stop by using the dead zoning you've been practicing, shoot, and get the kill. A couple side tips here: when you're shooting, you want to always try and keep your agent moving. So if you swing out of a corner with the T protocol, make sure you're not just stopping dead after you shoot. Instead, you need to start strafing back and forth, shooting in bursts, just in case you miss or another enemy is there. This will make you much harder to hit and allow you to keep shooting accurately. And if you practice your dead zoning, this should be easy. Also, whenever you go to take any fight, make sure that you're strafing back and forth for this exact reason. Another thing you should be learning is how to jump spot, as it is extremely important. All you need to do is run up to an angle, hold the movement key that's in the direction of that angle while also holding W, jumping and swiping your mouse in that direction at the same time, then instantly tap the opposite direction key and S while swiping your mouse in the opposite direction to jump back behind cover. Secondary binding jump to scroll down will make this a lot easier. You can also silent jump up ramps if you bind it this way, simply by taking a few steps up to it, jumping, constantly scrolling down while swiping your mouse left and right, and constantly tapping the A and D key. Now that you're not moving around like an old lady who forgot her arthritis pills, it's time for you to start using that magnificent brain of yours and start outthinking your enemies. A lot of you will run around the map like a chicken with its head cut off, not having a clue what's going on around you. And this is what's getting you killed 99.99999% of the time, or the enemy is just cheating. But in all seriousness, you need to start working on your awareness. This is simple in theory, however you're probably not doing it properly. Whenever you're playing, you need to be thinking about every single angle that can see you and every single spot an enemy can be in or swing out and shoot you from. This does not mean you run it down and hope for the best. Instead, you need to be dealing with each threat at a time as they come up, and make sure that you're never exposed to multiple angles unless you know for a fact no one is there. So how do you do this? Let's say you got bombed down on Lotus A. Do you think it's a good idea for you to stand in the middle of sight and hold for an enemy to push you? No? So why the hell are you doing it? Instead, you need to get into position that allows you to only be exposed to one angle, or play safe so that they have to tap the bomb and push into you. Now let's say you're going to take a site on Lotus. What you should not be doing is just running it down like you're Leroy Jenkins. Instead, you need to make sure that you're aware of and checking every single angle you could be exposed to. So always make sure you're clearing the most prominent threat first, and then moving on to the next ones. This should be done at all times when you're playing the game. Next time you're playing a game, be actively thinking, okay, where can the enemy be and where should I be looking at this exact moment? So when you're taking space, clear the first angle and then clear the next one, and try your best to never be standing out in the open or have your crosshair aimed at a random wall. Instead, have it aimed at the most likely place an enemy will swing out of and kill you from at all times. This way, if you die, it's because the enemy had trigger bot and shot first, not because you had no idea what the hell was going on. And speaking about not knowing what the hell is going on, when it comes to playing in low elo, hell, any damn Valorant game, your teammates can have a massive effect on your ability to play the game and your overall sanity. However, they are not the problem. You are. Yeah, that's right, I said it. But in all honesty guys, they probably are causing you to lose a couple of your games. However, you cannot let that get to you, and you cannot attach your bad teammates to the reason why you are not ranking up or improving. Because newsflash, they aren't. If you actually want to start ranking up, you need to start taking some self-accountability and start learning from your losses, whether your teammates suck or not. Making sure you're always self-evaluating instead of just bitching and moaning about the 4 chimps you just played with. There's only one common denominator in every single game that you play, and that is you. So if you are not ranking up, well, just do the math. Every single game you play, whether you win or not, can help you improve and rank up, or be an absolute waste of your time. So when you lose, think, okay, what did I do wrong? Was I actually helping my teammates with my utility and my communication? Or was I baiting them and bitching at them in all chat? Keep in mind, there's always something you can do to help walk your blind teammates across the line. You just have to be willing to work with them instead of sitting there resenting them. So always be kind to them, always communicate with them, use your utility to help them out, play your role properly so that they can play theirs, and always be looking for ways you can help them to have more impact so you can win the game. Now, if you do all this and you still lose, then GG go next. They were just brain dead. But even so, don't let it get to you and ruin your day, causing you to spiral out of control, tilt you, and fall all the way down into iron. Instead, accept it for what it is, move past it, and go into your next game with high hopes and a positive attitude. However, if this just keeps happening to you, there is something that you can do to fix it. When you're playing your games, and by the grace of God, one of your teammates actually has a brain, talk to them, play off them, and ask to add them after the game. And make sure that you continue to do this until you have enough people on your friends list that you never have to solo queue again. This way, the Valorant gods cannot continue to curse you with the worst teammates ever, as you have handpicked people to play with. So if they end up sucking, that's on you. And if you truly want to be a cut above the rest and improve your game sense even further, allowing you to outthink every enemy you run into, go ahead and check out this video next.